Okay, this is the link for persons who want to have the recording. Um, that's the link for the recording today, so you can have it. Jacob, it's good to see. This is the link for persons who want to have the recording. Hello, Jacob. Unmute yourself, Jacob.
Yeah, good evening, Your Excellency.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you too?
I'm all right.
I'm happy seeing you today.
I am making it. I'm fighting the good fight of health, and I'm making it.
We thank God. We thank God. Yeah, right.
Definitely. Your Excellency Bishop Dr. Comfort Adu out of Ghana. You're very welcome this evening. Good evening, ma.
The grace of God. I hope glad to see you this evening.
Good evening, ma. You're looking as fine as ever, all decorated.
How is her I was asking about her excellence.
She's doing okay. She has stepped out to collect something for Joss, and she'll be back shortly. So
and Josh, I believe Josh is also doing fine. I believe Josh is also doing fine.
Yes, he's doing fine. He has me on listening mode. So if you see me do like this, I jump up. I'm in daddy mode as well while I'm doing class this evening. I'm in daddy mode as well.
Okay.
So if you see me jump and move, it's just because Josh beckons. All right. Well, let me jump into this evening's session and what is really planned for this evening. First thing, good evening to His Excellency, our Youth President, Olusegun Olukoya. He's in transit, that's why there's no visit, but you're very welcome, Your Excellency, to the class this evening. It's lovely to have you traveling with us in class this evening. Your Excellency, Bishop Dr. Comfort, Jacob is here, Suzanne, Heather, and the others who are going to be joining with us this evening. This evening, I actually was thinking of doing a fun day. As I have told everyone, let's do a fun day on Saturday, and let's have some discussion around those topics and have a really good laugh this evening. But I had a very unfortunate situation over the past couple of days. We had a death, a very close death, and the death has challenged me, and it has also created an element for me to I want to talk to those in the class of Steele Youth more so than have a fun evening. And it's going to be pleasant, but I just want to talk to you in the class of Steele Youth this evening, because sometimes when things happen that you don't expect, they could change a lot of perspectives, a lot of perspective, a lot of the ways we look at things, a lot of the things that we're looking at. And I don't want to miss this opportunity to share with you what is on my heart. As a matter of fact, equally, my wife and myself, if you hear me constantly trying to catch my breath or anything like that, it's because we are equally recovering from COVID as well. And it has been a very, very challenging journey. It continues to be, because I'm not fully recovered as yet, but I'm not one to sit down and play not well. I'm one who's going to make sure that every last minute of my life is spent either recovered or recovering. but I can assure you, I'm not going to be one who spends much time trying to pamper my wounds. That being said, there's some thoughts that I want to share with you, and this is live for those who are not here to at this moment, because I think some persons are going to come in at least 1 hour late. I actually think that's what's really going to happen because of the time difference. So I want to share some thoughts with you, but I also want to challenge you. And the reason why I want to share some thoughts and challenge you is because there's some things that if we had a push or a harder push, we would go further. How many of you know that if you knew now what you know what you could have known then, you'd have been a whole lot further today than you are now, because we all depend on that hindsight or that person that's going to come and tell us, or that knowledge that's going to guide us. We all depend on it. As a matter of fact, technology depends on the next update to be better. And there are those who are using technology, you're seated and you're using it, you're working it, but you want to be that better, and that better is in the hands of those who are going to update your software, who are going to update your system, because the world is continually waiting for the manifestation of that which is better, that which gets the job done quicker, that which gets the job done easier, that which fixes a problem that was created yesterday. And that's why you are here, because you are an answer to some problems that yesterday created. And tomorrow, you are the ones who are going to be making all those changes. And that's why I'm excited about the class of Steele and the class of Steele Youth and what we do in mentoring. But I want to stimulate some serious thinking in you this evening. Very serious. And if nobody never did it before, maybe because we, and I use the right term, we never took it as serious as we need to take it these days. I'm not sure if it is because I'm 50, and when you get to my age, there's a sense of urgency in getting things done, urgency in realizing there's some things that you could have done differently if you had invested more time in them, urgency in process. I could have chosen another way to do it, but there's a sense of urgency. And then we in the world are currently in a very pressed mode based on war that is happening with what's happening with the Russia and the Ukraine and different parts of the world and NATO, what's going on. Everybody's on edge because a nuclear button is a scary button, if you get what I'm saying. So the world right now is on a level of urgency. There's a lot of uncertainty. And I want to share some thoughts with you in this process to help you, because you're going to be very blessed if you listen carefully and take notes. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, or I'm not one of those persons who make light of serious situations, or I'm not a person who extreme situations that are simple. I tend to try in as much as possible to keep it in its right context. And as you guys are the leaders, you guys are the ones who are going to be making the major decisions tomorrow. I want to tell you some things to think about. Some very interesting things. First thing, there's always this statement, there's nothing that is new under the sun. There's nothing new. how many of you know people are dying every day? It's a normal thing. It's nothing new. Me losing loved ones is not anything new. Persons passing away from pandemics, it's nothing new. As a matter of fact, we have, if you ever do the statistics, it might shock you that we have so many persons who die from cancer on a daily basis. It's true. We have persons dying from the flu every single day. But because the world doesn't show you those statistics in a large lump sum on a large scale, it doesn't overwhelm you. In America and in the UK, there are murders that happen every single day. People get killed every day. What am I trying to do? Am I trying to make light of some realities? No, that's not what I'm trying to do. I want to make you think. I want to make you think. And I want you to think about you and what is it you want to accomplish in this year? What do you want to accomplish in 2022 and 2023? 2020, between now to 2025, what do you want to accomplish? And you're going to ask me, why am I asking this question about what do you want to, I want you to accomplish? It's very important. You have to decide the way forward. And it has to be decided based on thinking, planning, strategizing, rather than just going through the motions. Going through the motions is not going to make it. If you do the same thing you do every single day, you'll get the same results. And if you look at the progress that you're making, you'll get just as far as you got the last day you made an effort to go forward. Because the natural stem of things does not increase productivity. Productivity is increased when you determine, focus, and put things in place to add value or speed to what you're already doing. Do you sense an urgency yourself? Ask yourself that question. Do you sense an urgency yourself? Do you feel an urgency in what's going on around you? Do you feel an urgency in getting things done? Do you feel it? Do you sense it? Is it pressing on you? Do you sense an urgency to earn more? An urgency to have more? Do you sense that urgency? Because of the needs that are increasing within your area of influence, your children, you know, some of you with if your children are college and university and school, and you think, wow, I have to put this in place and put that in place. Do you sense an urgency with your country? As a leader with your country, what's happening in your country? Do you sense the urgency for persons who are going to be leaders that are going to be chosen from the crop of what currently exists? And the crop of what exists looks like it could do with some help. And do you sense an urgency? I want to ask you these questions to ask yourself. You come to these classes, you listen, you learn, you get information. But is it value added to you, or are you just passing time? Are you passing time, or is it value added? You see, exercise is value added. Exercise is value added. When you go to the gym, if you like it or not, it's value added because your heart works harder and it gets a little bit of exercise. Your lungs, they work better. Your joints get lubricated because of the constant motion. And you get a feel-good factor when you go to the gym. So it's value added. A journey on the bus is value added. You sit on the bus and you get from point A to point B. It's value added. You're not the same place you started. Watching a movie can be value added because you've sat down and you watched something and it gave you some knowledge that you didn't have before. So it's value added to you. But listening to teaching or mentoring can and cannot be value added, depending on how you look at it. Meaning, it could be in an environment where it adds value to you based on you deciding that you're going to do something with the knowledge that you received. Or it could just be time wasted because you didn't utilize the information you received. You just heard it and it didn't mean much. Are you value adding to your vision? Are you value adding to your desire for your future? Are you value adding? So why am I asking these questions today specifically? 2 days ago, I lost a very good friend, and one of the most jovial persons you could imagine. An amazing individual. And me and mutual friends were reflecting. We were sitting down and looking and realizing, wow, we didn't see this coming. We didn't see it coming at all. And I said to my wife, based on my going through the COVID and her going through the COVID and Josh not being well, I said to my wife, darling, I want to tell you a little secret, honey. I am kind of pretending I am better, and I realized that the pretending isn't working too well. I'm speaking that I'm better because it's like you speak confidently and faith and what you hope for, and it's like my body is not, kind of falling for the story. and I said to her, I need to kind of spend some time telling you some things, darling. I need to share some things with you. I need to revisit the vault and tell you where things are. I need to revisit telling you where passwords are. I need to revisit, making sure that persons are available if you need to call. And we had to go through a time that nobody wants to go through. How many of you know that preparing for the uncertainty is not anything anybody wants to do? It's not. Nobody wants to prepare for the uncertain. But then I said to her, I remember when I was 22 years old, my bishop was, I went to his house. We always spent time together. And I went to my bishop's house, and while I was there, he was drafting his will. So I said, Dad, what are you doing? I said, what are you doing, Dad? He said, I'm putting my will together. I said, Dad, I don't. And water started to settle in my eyes because I said, Dad, is something wrong? Is something wrong, Dad? Are you not well? What's going on? And he says, no. He said, no, I'm fine. I'm okay. But you have to put things in place so if you're not here to deal with them, they're dealt with. So I sat down and I let him tell me, you know, who's going, what is, this is for that body and that is for that person, and he thinks this is a good thing to do and that's a good thing to do, and we went through it together, some things, you know. But it gave me a sobering thought. It gave me a really, really sobering thought. 21, 22, 23 years old, and somebody writing a will doesn't seem very like intriguing, does it? But I want to ask you a question. I don't want to ask if you prepare to die. That's not what I'm asking you. What I'm asking you is, does your blueprint for life involve details that are critical to leaving a legacy? I'm not asking you to prepare to die. I'm asking you if your details of life involve the foundation for a legacy. So this evening's conversation, as I mentioned to you, is going to be really sobering. But I don't want you to run away from it. I don't want you to delete it. I don't want you to block it, because I promise you, it will visit you. And when it visits you, if you're prepared for it, it's okay. I have a statement, and I say it all the time. I say it all the time, and I will keep saying it. I'm either going to die on a pulpit preaching or teaching, die on my way to the pulpit to preach or teach, die preparing to go to a pulpit to preach or to teach, or die doing what I love doing. I promise you. I've made up my mind. As a matter of fact, if you ever hear that I'm on a hospital bed and I want to talk to you, this is my last message. I promised you, I might sound funny what I'm saying to you, but I promise you I'm one of those persons that I'm going to go out with, as they will say, guns blazing. My mind is made up. I'm not going to be one of those persons who's going to drop and die in oblivion. My life is designed on making an impact on the world. And I'm going to die making an impact on the world. That's how I'm going out. Guns blazing, making an impact. What about you? I'm going to be an amazing father. I'm going to be one of the most amazing dads there is. I'm going to be a fantastic husband. My wife is going to say, if you go to your maker, I'm going to come after you, because there's nothing less. I don't know, but I'm going to be a super fantastic husband. I'm going to be a super fantastic neighbor. I'm going to make sure I'm a good neighbor. I'm going to make sure that I'm a good best friend, a super fantastic best friend. I'm challenging your thinking this evening. And why am I challenging you? Because of some points that I'll give to you, that when I give them to you, you will say, I never thought about that. A nuclear war is not going to wipe out the world. A nuclear war is not going to wipe out the world. Nuclear war is going to displace the world. going to shift people from one area into another area, like what's already starting to happen. You see persons are getting shifted and moved. A lot of Ukrainians are moving into the UK. They move in different parts of the world. Persons that are going through genocide and horrible atrocities in different parts of Africa and different parts of the world are getting displaced. They're getting moved, pushed into different regions. Cities are getting bigger, larger. There is growth. There's expansion. Islands are becoming more populated. They're islands that are now being developed. If you go on Google Earth and you kind of look at different parts of the world, there are things that are happening. People are moving, going different places. But what is your legacy? What is challenging you? What are you putting in place? What are you excited about in your legacy? What are you personally excited about your legacy? Who's going to really rock your boat if they leave the ship? Who's going to rock your boat if they leave the ship? And you never really thought about it. You behave as though they're going to be on the boat forever. How you treat them, how you think about them, how you approach them. Who's going to rock your boat? You know why I don't have issues with forgiving people, and it seems so simple? Because many years ago, I discovered how frail life is. How frail. I lost my first brother when he wasn't even 2 years old yet, and he died. And then when I met my dad, I didn't know my dad when I was a young guy. When I met my dad at 27, 28 years old, I had another brother. My dad had a son, and he was 4 years old when I met him. And the same time after I met him, shortly thereafter, in his 4th year, he died. And then I was preparing myself to get to know my dad a lot better and spend some time with my dad. And shortly thereafter, my dad, cancer took my dad, and my dad died. What am I talking about? What has impacted me as an individual to be the way that I am? Realizing how frail life is. And realizing that if you're going to make an impact, you have to do it with all your might. You have to do it with the team that is in it for the long haul. We're in this for the long haul. We are in this until it's completed. And you have to be focused. You have to be focused. You have to be determined. And you have to see bigger than yourself. You can't just see yourself. It's not just about Michael. What does Michael want to do for Michael? No, it's not about me. From the time I was younger, I've gotten a bigger picture of life. It's not what I want to do to make me look important or make me look good, or it's how do I want to make the world a better place? How do I want to represent all that I am? What does that entail? All that I am. What does all that I am entail? I'm a Black young man. What is the stereotype of a Black young man that I can break or What can I do as a Black young man and make a positive or a good? You're a Black young woman or a white young woman or a white young man or a Black young man or Asian, whoever you are as an individual. What have you looked at in your completeness as an individual to see how can I make the world a better place because of my contribution to that world? It encompasses your position and your studies or your qualifications. We have an architect that I'm so proud of in the class of Steele, in our youth president, architect Olukoya. He's impacting the world as an architect. Not only is he just an architect, but he's also an advisor to architects. And he's on a governing board and governing council. And he's increasing in his skill and what he does. I'm a mentor, I'm a bishop, I'm a speaker. How am I impacting the world? I'm speaking to you in Africa, in Kenya, I'm saying in Africa and in Kenya, it's like it's the same thing. I'm speaking to you in Africa and in the Americas, in the European, in China, wherever you are, because I'm impacting you with what I have learned as a young man. My goodness, are you still qualified to say a young man when you're past half century? Hey! Past a half century. Half century not out. Hey, somebody. But what are you looking at impacting your world today? Bishop Comfort is my mom. And I can assure you when we open the discussion section today, you're gonna hear a heart that is closer to going than coming to some degree. Because let's be real. And I think I'm gonna live to be 120. I told First Lady that I'm gonna be 120 years old. That's how much I asked for, 120. That's all I want. I want to see my children's children, and all y'all that got children that says I'm God daddy. I'm still counting. I have so many God children. I'm still counting. So God children make God babies, and God children's children. So I just want to have a whole city. I just have a whole city. Everybody says, that's Uncle Mike. That's Uncle Mike. Hey, somebody walking up to me at 85 years old, Uncle Mike. Hi, Uncle Mike. See me. I said, you are a young boy. You are a young boy, you have much years to go. Imagine me saying that to an 80-year-old person. You are a young boy. But I want to ask you sincerely, are you full of life? Are you seeing a huge legacy ahead of you? Are you seeing a huge impact that you are going to be making on the world? Are you seeing it? Are you looking at it? Are you embracing it? Or are you so struggled and challenged with the mundane daily routines, the daily struggles, the daily difficulties, the daily pickups and goals? What are you seeing? Come on, I want to ask you, what are you seeing? Are you seeing that mountain and saying, give me that mountain, I want to conquer that mountain? Give me that terrain, I want to take that terrain. What are you seeing? What are you seeing for yourself? What is in your legacy blueprint? What's in it? Who is in it? These classes are me giving back to the world. I wish that all of you in the class of Steele would take one hour a week, 1 hour, and give back. 1 hour, even just planning 1 single hour and give back to the world. Even if you decide for 1 hour you're going to get up and go to the Salvation Army, and every day for the rest of your life you're going to help the Salvation Army. If you decide you're going to plant a tree 1 day a week, you're going to plant a tree. You're just going to randomly just walk out into the somewhere and just plant a tree and just take a picture of that tree and watch those trees, or you're going to go to an old people's home and once a week, 1 day a week, just go to old people's home and visit some folks and tell them you love them, you appreciate them, and make them laugh, make them have a good time, and then go back home and sit down and just think about how happy you made Lucy or Auntie Joyce or Auntie Mary or Uncle Jeff or Uncle Ricky, and just see him dancing with his stroller. Just see him dancing and plodding along, and he's happy. And then you think, oh, I can't wait till next week to go and see Auntie Joyce or Uncle Ricky. 1 hour. Put something in your legacy blueprint that you're going to be proud of, that persons are going to look back and say, oh, that was so nice. Oh, he'll be missed. Oh, she'll be missed. I'm not talking about me. My legacy blueprint is so full, you don't have a clue how full my legacy blueprint is. You don't have a clue. You don't have a clue. I'm so proud of my legacy blueprint. I am. Listen to me. Listen. Go and Google me and go on Facebook and look at who I am. If you haven't done it, go look. But I'm not saying that because I'm gloating in who I am. I'm saying it as your mentor. What is in your legacy blueprint? Who have you impacted? Who have you made an impact on their lives? I say to Ruth and to those that are in China, in university, oh my God, what a legacy. What an absolute phenomenal legacy they have an opportunity to leave. You're in a university in China, and you're going to rub shoulders with people from across the planet that you might never get an opportunity, or your generations before you might never have had an opportunity to rub shoulders with them. What impact have you left? What desperation do they have that, oh my God, when I leave university and I go back to my country, I want to invite Ruth and I want to invite this person to come to my country. They were so amazing. They were my best friends. I just want them to come and visit my family. I just want them to come and see where we live and to see our culture. What's in your legacy blueprint? I was in Dubai, and where my friend died. Where my friend died, I tell you the truth, I am glad that the times that we shared together, he's a Muslim brother, and I'm so glad that the times we shared were so phenomenal. He is one of the most amazing human beings I have ever met. His wife, Sister Hawa, is one of the most amazing humanitarians. And I thank the Creator, I thank God, I thank the universe, I thank my lucky stars. I was so thankful that I had an opportunity to impact his life, and he had an opportunity to impact my life. It was a memory that will never be lost. We have loads of photos. I have loads of photos with me and him and his wife and our mutual friends. Now I'm going to challenge you in your blueprint. I'm going to challenge you in your blueprint. And this is just an open talk this evening that I'm having with you as your mentor. I need to say something. My house is awfully quiet and I'm alone with my son. It's too quiet for my hearing. Please give me one. My house is too quiet. Give me 1 second. Your Excellency Olukoya, I want you just to, if you could just share a few thoughts on what I'm sharing, but my house is too quiet. Let me find out what Josh is up to.
Thank you, Excellency. I want to welcome every one of us this evening to the class of Steele youth this evening, and I also recognize Bishop Comfort, if she's still there. Yeah, and then Pretty, Agnes, you're welcome. Susan, Jacob, Reverend Amo, Alex, welcome all of you to the class this evening. And we thank God for what the bishop has shared with us today. It's actually a very tough one. We'd like to really commiserate with you, sir, on the passing of your friend. And I know it's a very tough one. You know, within the past 6 months, you've lost very dear people to you, but you are still here. So your strength is worthy of emulation, and we commend you to the grace of God for comfort and for strength. And I also want to say that we really don't have excuse, no matter what we are going through. You can see one of the things that His Excellency taught me early in the class of Steele is that no matter what comes your way, you must always show up. Every one of us have reason to attend to some other things, but we are here today. It's a very tough one, you know. Pain is a very strong tool that helps to shape the kind of person that we turn out to be. And as you can see, His Excellency keeps getting stronger, and everything around him keeps getting more beautiful, and is really worthy of emulation. I really appreciate what you shared with us today and how you've spoken about each and every one of us. I really appreciate your comments about me. The truth is that we are not ordinary people. We are not shallow. We are very deep, strong, and versatile people. And just as he jokingly said, we live up to 120. Living up to 120 is not in weakness and in pain, but rather in strength and vitality, because we have a lot of things to get done. The class of Steele, as an organization, has a 100-year vision. And the 100-year vision, of course, it will outlive us. But notwithstanding, we are going to set the tone and lay the foundation that the next set of generation of leaders that will be in the class of Steele will be able to maintain. These are the kind of status quo that must be maintained. The status quo of integrity, the status quo of strength, the status quo of strength of character, the status quo of deep knowledge and deep research, the status quo of world impact. Those are the kind of status quo we would like to maintain in the class of Steele, and in most especially the one that relates to us in the class of Steele youth arm. We want to raise a generation of people that are global leaders that are making impact. That's why if you look behind His Excellency, you see the map of the world turning. It has a significance. There's a reason why it is there. It's speaking to us that we are not limited to one minute little place where we occupy now, but from wherever we are, from South Africa to Ghana to anywhere in the world, we are going to impact the world. And as we beam the light from Ghana, we beam the light from South Africa, from Nigeria, from the United Kingdom, from China, the light will come to meet and then form a very strong beam that will turn our world to become what it was meant to be. So our impact is very important, and we must not allow anything to deter us. Other people may not understand why we do what we are doing, may not understand why we make some decisions and we stay on. But the truth is that at the end of the day, where we are going is our focus. And our world impact assignment is something that we will never jettison for anything. So we remain resolute and focused. And of course, in doing it, even though we may go through pain sometimes, but we will still hang in there. Even though some sad events may happen, we will still put up a smile and even laughter. And that is what you are seeing happening. It doesn't mean that we are insensitive, no, but it just means that no matter what comes our way, we will always show up. We will always move on, and we will always go forward. Once again, we commiserate with you, Your Excellency, and we extend our comfort to you from the depth of our hearts. And we also believe that this will make you stronger for the world impact that the world is waiting for from your side. You are leading a team of army of intellectuals, army of powerful people, army of young people that will shake this world. And I want to assure you, sir, that you are not wasting your time. All your investments are not a waste of time. Once again, I thank you, sir, for the privilege of sharing my thoughts and to congratulate the class of Steele, because we will get there. My name is Architect Olukoya Olusegun, the president of the youth arm of the class of Steele from Nigeria. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you so very much, Your Excellency, Architect Olukoya. And I don't share sometimes of the losses because of individuals. Sometimes the burden of loss is so great that you don't want to keep it there. I remember COVID, when COVID first hit, my goodness, being a bishop, every single day, I knew 2 or 3 persons that were close that died. So the burden of you're crying for one person, then you get another phone call, somebody else, So what happens, as you say, is that the strength, you just gain more strength of character. You just learn to cry and move on. And I certainly could not have done a fun day today. I didn't have it in me, I confess. Fun wasn't in me today to do based on what I'm feeling in my heart. But I can assure you that in me to do is to let you guys know you're awesome, and you are going to be, you're going to be a great success globally. And no matter what happens, it is you who determine how great that success is. And just incidentally, Joshua was just quietly eating his some snacks and just chilling, doing okay. You know, I guess the silence was deafening because my wife wasn't here. She has returned now, so that's good. But I want to revisit what I was sharing with you. Look at my Facebook and my LinkedIn, or Google me, but don't Google me to think I'm gloating or glorying in who I am or who I have become. Don't do it for that reason. Google me and ask yourself this question: where am I? Please understand what I'm trying to give to you. Google me and ask yourself the question: where am I? If I Google your name, if you Google your name, what comes up? What does the world see and recognize about you? What comes up? What shows up? What is it that you want the world? I'm not talking about your village or your family or your local community. I meant world leaders, world changers, persons that command authority in large diasporas. That's who you are. That's where you are going. That's where you are heading. So what does your footprint look like so far? I used to look at a lot of my colleagues that have made an impact in their world and feel so, wow, look at me. What have I done? What have I done with my life when I was much younger? When I was younger, I'm talking about when I was 17, 18, 19, I was working with youth. I was a Samaritan counselor at, I think I was 18 years old. And I was a Samaritan counselor. When people call that they're suicidal and they want to, I was always looking for ways that I can make the world a better place. I'm not somebody that just popped up and decided, oh, I'm going to start the class of Steele mentoring and I'm going to do this for 1 year. How many of you remember how many of you were with me the first time we started the class of Steele? Who was one of the first persons? Loma, you're one of our very first in the class of Steele when we started. Pretty, you were there as well. Answer me a question. I want to ask you before we go away. And Architect Olusegun, Yoloma, question. When we started this, I want you to tell me the honest truth. When we started this, did you think that it was going to last? Tell me the honest truth. I want you to tell us the truth. Tell me the truth, what you thought when we started this, how excited we were. We were going to get these young people and we were going to bring them together. And we're going to mentor them every single Saturday for a whole. Tell me the truth, what you thought.
Good evening, everybody. It's good to have you back, sir. To be honest, when we first started, I didn't know it was going to take this long. And for the first time in my life, I think this is one of the programs that I've followed till this far. I usually drop out of the way or along the line, but somehow the classes, they get interesting. And after each class, you are like looking up to the other class. But initially, when we heard that it's coming from UK, somewhere abroad, we are all excited. And you know Nigerian mentality. somebody is taking me abroad, and we're told that the certificate you come to you go to United Kingdom to pick up your certificate, and we're like, this is an opportunity for us to, visit that other part of the world. Then as the class proceeded, it was more like people were dropping, that we were expecting. I don't even know why we're expecting that somehow you're going to share money, somehow you're going to share, I don't know. That's just Nigerian mentality. Forgive us, please. So, but I'm being honest, but as we, go on and on and on and on, I found out that it doesn't always have to be a sharing thing. It like you're waiting for somebody to come and share money, and just like that. And I guess that's why so many people dropped, because what they anticipated wasn't what they were getting, and they were not ready to study. They were not ready to read. They were not ready to give this time to improve on themselves so that they can do something better for themselves. We always want things to be done for us. We are always at the receiving end, but thanks to this class, I don't have that kind of mindset or mentality anymore. I know I can become more.
Thank you so very much. And I think you missed the time because of the time hour change, correct?
Sorry?
Did you miss the time change? You know that the clock has gone
Yes,
forward.
I did.
Don't worry. I know that's why some folks are going to struggle with class, and they're going to be coming on shortly because of the time zone. It's okay.
Yeah, I did.
Pretty, tell us, did you think it was going to last this long? And tell the truth. Tell me what you really envisioned.
Yeah. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening. Happy to have you back. And good evening to all the excellencies in the house. Honestly, Uloma has said it all. When we were introduced to the class of Steele initially, the rush people use in registering and all that, I was thinking it will keep rising and keep rising. But at the end of the day, I'm seeing people dropping out. Like, that is not what they were expecting. Maybe they were thinking they will come to get a certificate, or maybe kind of a training. Now, just like 3 months, they will give them our certificate and all that. But that's not how it goes. Class of Steele is a very, very different kind of setting. That when you know what you're going in for, you will feel very relaxed. You'll be like, this is what you've been looking for all this while. I've engaged in so many classes, but at the end of the day, it wasn't worth it, so I dropped out. So, but this is a class I long to belong to. I want to stay there every week. I want to learn new things. It's not about what you stand to gain. This is the thing we stand to gain, which people are not seeing. They want the monetary aspect. They want something that is, okay, what is it all about? Some people have tried to introduce to the class of Steele. They'll ask you, what do you stand to gain? Is it just to sit down there, burn your data, burn your time, the time you're supposed to do meaningful things? And I tell them, this is the most meaningful thing I've ever done. The class of Steele instigates me, it inspires me to discover myself. So from what I'm saying, it was not the way it was meant to be. Maybe everybody coming in, flooding in, but it's gradually reducing. We are beginning to know who fits in the class of Steele. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much, Pretty, for your submission as well. Who else was Jacob? You were with us earlier, or Jacob, you're a late comer? You came late, Jacob?
Oh, Your Excellency, I one of the first comer.
You were one of the first with us as well, Jacob?
Yes, please.
Okay, what did you think, and how has this journey been for you thus far? Because we're not, to be quite honest with you, we have 100-year legacy. So I guess we're gonna see Pretty as an old lady. We're gonna say that Pretty is a pretty old lady when she gets to that age. But how has this journey been thus far for you?
Thank you, Your Excellency. Actually, when I started, I thought it was one of the classes we used to maybe attend. So I actually didn't know I'll be able to continue up to date. But I got to realize that it's a class that really impacts us a lot of knowledge and wisdom. Day in, day out, I learn new things, and it helped me a lot. So because of that, whenever, let's say Saturday, I'm not able to log in or to join the class, it's like something is missing for me. So I think it has been a good class that I've learned a lot from it. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you so very much. This is what I'm going to share with all of you. That is, I see this person. Do you know what is interesting? This person iPhone. I was just gonna say, iPhone, can you speak to us? Because I'm asking myself, who is iPhone? And then I see a message popped up. I agree, the class of Steele is inspired. iPhone, could you please unmute yourself, please?
Hello.
Who is iPhone? Say your name and your country, please.
My name is Ashley Makuva. I'm from South Africa.
Ashley!
Hello, Dr. Steele.
Is that my Ashley?
Yes.
Ashley, why are you hiding behind iPhone and message like this and you don't even sign your name, Ashley? Hey!
Yeah.
I miss you.
I miss you too.
Hey, come on, let's wave Miss Ashley. Ashley is the youngest person in the class of Steele, and she was with us. Ashley, it's lovely to hear your voice. Oh, your mom came on a couple of times and she told us about you, and it's lovely to have. Are you back to stay or are you just visiting?
I'm back to stay.
You're back to stay?
Yeah.
It's love. Actually, are you planning to be on this trip to Barbados with us? We're going to Barbados in October, the whole class of Steele youth and adults. You're planning to be joining us, hopefully?
I don't think I can because my dad was like against this whole thing, even with the United Nations stuff. So, no.
Okay. Do you think your dad would want to talk to me?
I don't know. Even if you did talk to him, Dr. Steele, you'd still tell me that, because I'm in grade 11 now.
Okay.
And you'd say, school's important, this and that. Yeah, so.
Okay, Ashley, because of you, we're going to visit South Africa. I promise you. I lift my right hand. This is the right hand. I lift my right hand and I promise you that I'm going to plan a trip with me and His Excellency Architect Olusegun Olukoya and whoever else. And we're going to pay a visit to the youth from South Africa. I promise. Bishop Comfort has raised her hand as well. I promise.
Okay, thank you so much.
And you will be the first person to know when we are going to plan that trip to South Africa. I promise you, we'll visit South Africa.
Okay, Dr. Steele.
That's a promise. And by the way, it's lovely to know that you are there, because I can still see you in my head taking your copious notes and responding and not realizing you're the youngest that is in the class of Steele. It's a pleasure to have you. Tell your father he has raised an amazing young lady, and we're very proud to have you as a part of the class of Steele.
Thank you so much. It means a lot to me.
All right. It's good to have you. Yay. Come on, celebrate, Ashley. Yay. I'm happy. Nah, that puts a smile on my face. That's what it's all about. Persons like you, Ashley. Okay, so iPhone is Ashley. Okay, so here's the thing that I want to share with us. And Ashley is in the best position. Ashley is in one of the best positions because a lot of you have passed the opportunity to make a really great impact on the next generation. But a lot of you are in position where you still can do that. And here's what I will say to you. Google me, I'm your mentor, and really get inside of my head. If you're gonna follow somebody's teaching, get to know the person. Listen to how the person speaks. Look at what impact the person has made in the world. And then there's a secret that will be revealed to you. That's what you should do for yourself. You should be leaving a legacy that people can get into who you are as a person and say, I love this model of human being on the earth. This is a nice model. The world is filled with individuals from all backgrounds. All backgrounds. And you could determine in yourself how you want to impact the world. Do you want to fight against racism? Why? Why? Somebody says to me, you should be fighting against racism. And I'm thinking, why? What benefit is there in that battle? Who's gonna win it? Come on, laugh with me. I'm breaking down some silly narratives for you. I'm gonna break them down for you and make you laugh at yourself. Why do I want to make somebody that is happy to be white and ashamed of my being black? Why do I want to have a battle with them when I'm so happy to be black? Do you know how happy I am to be black? Jesus, I'm so happy in my skin. Jesus, I'm so happy in my skin. I don't even know what color it is. Come on, somebody. I go to countries where I'm the only black person, and when people are celebrating me, I'm thinking I'm as white as they are because I can't see myself. Wave at me if you get what I'm saying. Color is irrelevant. Color of your skin is irrelevant. It is. It is. As a human being, it is. I'm gonna break down some ideologies for you today. You want to know who I am? You want to know who's Bishop Steele? Who's Dr. Steele? Who is he? Am I black? Am I white? No, I'm a human being. I'm not. Color doesn't exist for me. It really doesn't. It exists in the way people treat me. It exists in the way that I see people respond to me because of, but the truth of the matter is, the people that treat you according to your skin color are so petty and so shallow-minded that they're not even worth the time of your day and your effort. They're not. They are not. I tell you the truth. They're so insignificant. If you have somebody pulling you in a black circle, or pulling you in a white circle, or pulling you in a Caucasian circle, or pulling you in an Asian circle, or pulling you in a Chinese circle, do you want the honest truth? They're so small and insignificant on the earth. If you want to make a global impact, get rid of the race, color, and religion card. Get rid of it immediately. I don't see race and religion. I do not. I don't focus on it. As a matter of fact, I love diversity. I love seeing people from other cultures. I have some Indian chiefs that are friends. Oh my goodness. Some of the most amazing people. And if you see them in some of my other platforms or other places, and you see them in their Indian, their Indian chiefs, their hats, you think, hey, these people, hey. And I have some of my Christian friends talk, oh, the blood of Jesus, oh, devils, oh, demons. Oh, please, I beg, please, stop your religious stupidity. Don't fall into these inhumane circles of religion and skin color. Please don't. Please don't. If you want to impact the world, if you want to leave a human legacy, please, it's not about your religion. How many of you know there are over 4,000 religions on the earth? Over 4,000. Did you know that? There are over 4,000 religions. And the people, if you start talking about Jesus Christ and our Lord and Savior, my personal Lord and Savior, yes, I am a Christian. I'm a born-again believer, a Holy Ghost-filled, tongue-speaking Christian. Yes, I love my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. No, I will not convert to Islam. No, I will not convert to being a Hindu god or Indian chief. But no, I don't think that my religion is the only one on the earth. I know I don't think that I'm the only one there is and that I'm the only person that's going to be in this heaven or part. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I'm a human being. And I will never believe that the only persons who are righteous are Christians. Never, ever will I believe that that's the only righteousness there is in the world. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you are looking at impacting the world, you have to look at the whole world. The world is bigger than me and you. And my religion is 10 times bigger than my religion. That's why I'm proud to walk through the world as a Christian, because being a Christian has taught me how to give people their right, how to give people their choice, how to love people in spite of. It's unfortunate for those who are converted to a religion that try to kill people or harm people because they're different. It's unfortunate. I'm not from that background. Because some of you will go on my social media platforms and you will see all manner of people. What manner of man is he? I'm a person that wherever I see human beings on the earth, that's a culture, that's a knowledge, that's information that I will have that I didn't have before, that will make me a better person. A lot of you want to travel the world. The world is not just Christian. It's not just Muslim. The world is bigger than your religion. The world is not just black. It's not just white. There are white people that don't even like white people. Can you imagine? You're intimidated because some white people don't like black people, but there are white people that don't even like white people. But can I tell you the truth? There are black people that don't like black people. How many of you know that? Wave at me. Come on, don't sit down with just. So how are you going to impact your world? By being humane. What's your legacy blueprint? What's your legacy blueprint? Are your children going to get along with black and white and Asian and Chinese and Christian and Muslim and Buddhist? Are your children going to get along? Or are they going to be killing each other? Are you going to be setting policies in government legislation that are going to be inclusive and create an environment where the world is seeing each other as this is our part that we have to fulfill to make sure that civilization and society is at peace and at oneness? Or are you going to be showing them the differences that they need to be fighting against each other? What is your government legislation going to be as a world leader? Are you going to be one of those who's going to divide the rich from the poor? Oh, this is a rich man's world and a poor man's sufferings. That's not true. When I traveled to Nigeria and to Africa, I made some startling discoveries that if I tell some of you, it might offend you, but I'll tell you anyway. Because I want you to think. That's why I'm here today. If I go to my maker tomorrow, I want to know that I made you think. I want to know that this message that I taught, this lecture, this 2 hours that you spend in the class of Steele every Saturday had value. But I want to share something with you. How many of you know that in Africa, there are cultures of people who this is who they are. You can't change it. It's who they are. For example, you have generations on top of generations of cow herders. Wave at me if you know what I just said. Wave at me. They're cow herders. Generation on top of generation on top of generation, and they herd cows, cattle. How many of you agree with me? Wave at me. Come on, wave at me. I want to. I know that you. Yeah, I can see. How many of you know they're generation of gardeners? They are farmers that from the beginning of time, they are happy, they are comfortable, they know secrets about gardening that you will never know. You will never ever know the secrets and the understanding because it's passed down from generation to generation. How many of you know that? Wave at me. Okay. The Indian chiefs, I have a lot of Indian chiefs that are very good friends of mine, very good friends. And they can show you things with the earth and tell you things about the earth. No, they're not demons and devils and worshiping devils and all of that crazy stuff. No. They are generation on top of generation of knowledge that they have that you will never have because it's not taught in universities or in colleges. It's not taught. But they have it handed down to them tribally. I'll tell you something else very strange. How many of you know the generation of morticians in the world? People who do burials and embalming of human bodies, and they take out the organs. There are generations of people who do that easily. I have a friend, Sydney, and Sydney owns a funeral home, personal friend. And I remember going and chilling with Sydney at the funeral home, and Sydney is cutting up, taking out the blood from the body, draining the blood from the body. And Sydney has his burger and his drink there, drinking while he's dealing with the human body in his lab or his office. That's his office of work. I remember going to see Sydney late in the night, and Sydney's inside of the morgue, the morgue area of where he does bodies, and I'm thinking, I would not want to be here this time. Hey, listen, no, Sydney, no. I'm a reverend. I bury them, not hang out with them. But the Jones was a funeral director family. They came up, and that's what they know. The children, from the time they're small, they're accustomed to seeing dead bodies and caskets and moving the caskets and pulling the bodies out and putting them on the table. And, that's normal. They're persons who are cultured in surgery, in A&E. I have an uncle who is an A&E specialist. Accident and emergency, my goodness. He has seen some things that make me squeamish. My aunt also, she works in A&E as well, my aunt. What am I trying to say? The world is made up of persons who are families and generations of these particular areas that makes them comfortable to be in these areas. This is very interesting. My wife's dad is a pilot. My wife is a student pilot. She knows my wife is also a pilot, also a student pilot. My uncle, I have uncles and cousins that are pilot. I have uncle, no, not uncle. I have cousins, uncles' sons that are pilots, and I'm surrounded by a lot of pilots, persons that fly planes. It's normal. I even have people who own their own planes. It's normal. It's not a big deal. What am I trying to say in all of this conversation? How are you going to impact and leave your legacy? How do you see the world? How do you see different cultures and different people? How do you see them? Do you see them through the eyes of judging and ridiculing them like everybody else, sometimes because they're different? Or do you see them through the eyes of, this person can make me a better person if I get to know them better? What makes this person tick? What makes this person happy? Choose the persons that you align yourself with carefully. I give you a 10-year challenge. I'll give you a 10-year challenge. Put something on your radar that you're going to do for 10 years. Whatever it is, put it on your radar. I'm going to do this for 10 years. Whatever it is, put it on your radar. I'm going to do this for the next 10 years. Could be a lot of things. Studying, it could be helping, it could be learning, it could be working, it could be building a business. But I'm going to give you a 10-year challenge. I'm going to do this for 10 years. I'm only going to embrace and bring close to me people who support and endorse this. And I'm going to make scarce myself around people who don't like it. I'll give you a 10-year challenge. Give yourself a 10-year challenge, but have an expected end. What do you want to accomplish from it? What do you want to see at the end of it? And stay focused. Don't worry about good health and bad health. Good health and bad health comes and goes. You're gonna be, God forbid, sick and well. It just happens. You're gonna have good days and bad days that you might not want to be on the treadmill or on the job, but you have to show up. You have to. You have to. You have to. You have to show up. Challenge yourself. I'm going to do it. Some of you don't have the strength of character to hold on, to make things happen or to see things to the end. I told a lot of you when we started this year journey, it's for 1 year. It's not even a year yet. And how many people are still here? Why? Just because of what you guys have mentioned. Everybody wants to know, where is the money? Who's gonna pay me? Where's the paycheck? Who's gonna sponsor this? Who's gonna sponsor that? Opportunities in life come when you take them and you stay focused. How many of you know that if you plant a seed, you're going to get a harvest? You will. But if you walk away from the farm, if you plant a seed in Abuja and you never go back to Abuja to water it, how are you going to reap the harvest in Abuja when the tree grows? You're going to show up in Abuja one day and somebody's going to say, how do you mean this is your tree? How do you mean? You better move. Move. You better move. You didn't water it. You didn't prune it. But now you show up 1 year later because you hear there's a fruit tree that is in Abuja that has a lot of fruit because you dropped a seed. That was my seed. A lot of us do that with life. A lot of you looking, and you're going to hear persons say, that I went to that school. That person that just got victored, I can't even call that word. I'm as well as I am, Victor Adolor. You know what? I'm not even going to embarrass myself. Could somebody please call that Victor Valedorium? Who could call that word for me, please? I'm not even going to embarrass myself any further. Oh, look, can you call that word for me? Victor. What is it? That huge word.
What words, please?
Is it Victor Valedorium or what is it? Is
validatory?
Victor Valedictory. a Victor Valedictory? Is that what it is? No, that's not.
That's not it, Your Excellency.
No, I'm trying to think. Darling! Hun? Jeannie! Jeannie! Yes, Jeannie! I'm calling my wife. I don't like to get stumped on something that I can't remember how to say it the correct way. That's one of the things about learning, and I'm not embarrassed to learn something. Hun, what is it? Is a Victor Valedor or Victor? This thing at the end of the year, the person is get it from university. What is call it?
Oh gosh, you gotta get me.
Aha. Victor Valedictorian. Let me go. Let me see something. Victor Valedictorian. Let me see. Yes, that's what it is. Thank you, my love. Victor Valedictorian. Now, why was I trying to remember that word? Oh, yes, that's what I was trying to remember. So you're going to hear somebody, Victor Valedictorian. Y'all went to the same university. And he says, oh, I know that person. I know this, I know that. But let me ask you, what about you? Oh, he's from this university and he's a doctor, he's a this, he's a that, he's a the next, he's a third. What about you? I went to the law school and from my alumni, there's doctors and lawyers. As a matter of fact, my alumni actually has a lot of reverends and pastors from my alumni and multimillionaires and billionaires from my alumni at school. But the truth of the matter is I was not one of the choice students in my school. I was not. But I'm proud to say I'm a large boy counted amongst them because I am making an impact on the world. Are you with me? Uloma, you have to make an impact. You have to. Pretty, you have to. Abiagwa, you have to make an impact on your world. You have to. I will not settle for less from any of you. Cargbo, all of us, we have to make an impact. Even Bishop Comfort at her age and where she's at in her stage of life, she's still making an impact. Why? Because you have to make an impact. You have to. I'm finished talking. I think I've spoken enough. And I want to thank you so very much for listening. And if you have any questions for me, you are free to ask me anything you want to ask me. Anything embarrassing, I don't get embarrassed. Only people who struggle with their position in life and their intellectual capabilities or lack thereof struggle with being asked questions. I don't get challenged, and I'm not easily embarrassed. So anything you want to ask me, I'm your mentor. Based on what we've shared or what you think or what you would like to know, ask me. I'm available. Anybody got any questions for me? Or I see everybody rolling their eyes. I see you looking at me. Okay, Bishop Comfort, Your Excellency, Dr. Comfort, I want you to just add your thought to today's sessions. Mommy is going to add her thoughts to today's sessions. Her Excellency Bishop Dr. Comfort Adu out of Ghana, and she's our mummy who is watching over us to make sure that the African youth and the generations to come are a whole lot better than they were before. Your Excellency Dr. Comfort Adu.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Bishop Dr. Michael Steele. The one and only Bishop Dr. Michael Steele. I salute Her Excellency Jeannie Steele and the architect Olukoya, who is the president of the youth. His Excellency, I salute you too. And all the excellencies who are watching afar, and all the ambassadors to be who are on the platform today. When I always come on the platform, I continue to hit and hit and hit on the essence of our being here on the platform. Nothing but to see the next generation polished. You understand? A better generation. Room to one we can all look up to. And look at this generation. What if we don't do anything? Why should we cry with them when we have an answer? As His Excellency always says, we have the answers. Our answer is to change the generation. I remember in a book of Acts, we found where 12 people turned the whole world outside. That is what the class of Steele wants to do. We want to turn the generation around. The generation that is bit fighting, heckling each other, crying, and then talking about things that doesn't matter, that are not relevant, the unnecessary fights, racism, and whatever it is. No, God planted this earth. He created it, as a matter of fact. And then he planted the man he created inside to till man, to take care of it, to take dominion. And that was simply said. So we don't have to go outside that. All that we have to do is make sure that we make this earth a better place for people to stay. So we will pass on to eternity until we meet our maker, and then we can say that yes, we have done what was given to us in our generation. It is a platform that Shakespeare said we just come upon it once, and then when we have finished our duty, we leave. It's like a stage. You come and stage what you have for people to see. And if there's any change for them, the better. When your time is up, then somebody else, your time on the stage. If for some time passed, or for some reasons, things have not gone well, and you still have breath in you, you still have life in you. Your Excellency was saying that you would like to be 120. Yes, we all want to be that one. If you live all this time of years and you do not impart your generation, what is your use? You see, what is your use? But if you are able to impart your generation and you live up to 120, you still have people to connect with. But if you are in your own closet and you do not impart your generation, all your friends and everybody will leave you. The 120 years, no one will mind you. Everybody will know you because you have nothing to impart. You are irrelevant. But we are thinking of having a global belt where you can be of use to everybody. And this is where we are chatting. We want, for the next years to come, we want to see you, Oluma, Kinebi, Pretty, Agnes, Reverend Alex, and everybody on the platform, Ruth and the rest. We want to see you that what people have made mistakes, you have turned it around and then we are moving ahead. And I know that we'll reach there. Sorry, Your Excellency, for your the minds of your friend. It is like that in the world. No one knows tomorrow. For the past few months, I have been thinking, wondering, because I have a close friend also who passed on around November, December, right? Yes, right about that time. She was very good encourager to me. She will call me and say, oh, I have called you, and yes, I just want to remind you of your vision. You'll still make it. She will be encouraging me. She was somebody who was partially impaired. It doesn't see very well, but since she encountered that challenge, she hasn't gone down or up in her in her discharge of duties. She was a Reverend minister. She was an encourager. She loved people, no matter where, whichever race you come from, whichever denomination or whoever you are. Hers is to impart into you what she can. And if somebody doesn't tell you that, oh, this lady cannot see very well, you will not notice until the program is over, and then she wants somebody to hold her hand and cross the street. This woman I'm talking about, when I learned that she passed on, I just stood for the whole time because I knew that my encourager, one of my encouragers, a pastor, who will call me at any odd hour and ask of what I'm feeling, or if I'm not feeling well, she sometimes even asks what I have eaten. And I say, Mother Williams, because she wasn't married at the time she was, we met her, and she devoted all her time to mankind, humanity, and then the work on that sort. What am I trying to say? I'm saying that this world is full of imperditions. You cannot predict what will come on your way. But what you can do is at every moment in time, you make sure that when you meet somebody, you know you have met a human being. And then think about how can I impart into this person? What a legacy will I leave that when I'm not there, he or she will say that, oh, if so and so were to be around, I would have been much better in this position. So we are trying to groom you as His Excellency is doing, imparting into you things that will make you feel that you are a human being and you are living with human beings on earth. And you are doing things that even if people look at what you are, they can change their lives and said, oh, I'd like to be like a Betty. Oh, I'd like to be like Ashley. Oh, I would like to be at Olma. I'd like to be like Kapu. I'd like to be at this place. I'd like to be at this place. That is all that the class of youth is about. So I believe that day in and day out, as you come on the platform, you are taking your notes, you are putting some things down. Make it in your mind that some years to come, you will not be like others who are nobody. That repeats this. From years to come, you will not be like others who are nobody. Why am I saying this? They are nobody because they are not doing the things that will make that will cause a change in the world. And a good name is better than riches. If you have a good name, if you're a person who everybody is running after, who's you sought after, oh, this person, if he's being the MP for this state, it will be better because they're going to change everything. I always say this thing. When I got married, we went to stay somewhere from where I'm staying now. It will take about 20 minutes to get to that place. But before I got married, if you want to go to that place, it takes about 45 minutes. Why? Because that place was full of water. It was a river bed. You cannot pass there. But when we got married, we saw that no, when we make a bridge across this area, we will be able to make the time short for us and people can work across. Now come and see that place is become a street that is linking the two communities. You understand? And when we left the place, what happened was that every year, after during the rainy season, we use bus to make the connection. So every year when it's raining season, we used to pull out the logs and then put in fresh ones there so that when children are passing on the bridge, they will not fall into it. Because when it gets to rain time, the river overflows, so it gets higher than the road. To put it short, we're doing that consistently year by year from 1980 to 87 when we left the place for a different place. I was coming one day to see my mother at the other side and saw people charging those who were passing on the side. And when they saw me, so Reverend, just something that we eat. I said, something that you eat. And when we were there, each year we were using our own pocket money to put things right, to make the bridge more travel or usable. And now you think of how to fill your belly. I thank God that year, the woman in charge of the assembly on that area put that place in use, proper use, by putting on sand and then making it a road for people to pass. Now you find the government has completed it with asphalt or whatever and making it water. When I was passing by, I saw when they were putting on names on the streets, I saw a contractor who was there before we came, did not put an input to that place, but the family members have put his name his name on the street. My children do my church. Oh, you wanted to put our late father's name there, but look, that is the world. Somebody who knew something better did not do it. And those of us without any knowledge about roads and highways, we don't have all that we have. We are civil servants and reverend ministers, and we thought of making this place useful for people. That is what we want you people to be. Wherever you are, your communities, make an impact. Let something new come. Don't wait till you are old. In this time, your age, as you are learning, try to do something around your place and let people recognize it. When you pass by and you ask people that, oh, who made this place much? They will tell you that it's Reverend said do and the wife, but his name is not there. Why? Because at that time they were putting the road signs there. There wasn't enough money with us to come and put it anyway. I'm thinking I'll see what else I could do to recommend somebody to do that for us. But I remember when I was in the union, I was assigned to Greater Accra, and I tried to make an input there. You know, when I went to the union as a national vice president, I made it my mind that it is not going to be like the wholesale thing people run through and they go, no. By the grace of God, I was able to make an impact. There was 9 years court case. When I was telling them that I want to be the vice president, they asked me for what. I said, I want this 9 years court case to be cancelled. How can you do it? You have a lawyer. Let me cut it short. When I was given the nod and I became the national vice president. Less than 3 months, the case was solved. I wasn't a lawyer. I was determined to make a change. Even my president of the union said, we cannot make any move because of this situation. When we go here, we cannot see anybody. They say, because you people are not united. I said, oh, this is nothing that God can do. Say, okay, go ahead if you want to. And by the grace of God, I met the council of state. When they called me, no one was there. I was there. And at the end of the day, by the grace of God, I was able to resolve that impasse of the group. And you know, the lawyer at that time called and insulted me, that I wanted the whole world to know that I'm not a lawyer, but I'll be able to address a case which has been 9 years old. I said, oh, I don't take it as as that. I take it as I'm doing my God sent work. He said, what God sent work? Well, that is besides. He said what he could, but it is in the record. You see, apart from that, there was a case in our northern region. I went solely to do and then put it right. We have been attending congresses and conferences after conferences. It wasn't resolved. But when I went there, being led by God, and I went there, things was resolved. You see, I can say a lot of things that the Lord used me to do, or by the grace of God, when I was in the position, I was able to make an impact. So I believe that when anybody gets into any position, you don't have to waste it. Make an impact. Let when you leave the place, let people call you. When we left the place, the next executive that came by, the president was calling us, oh, let's go and call the old folks, our elders. When there was an issue they cannot resolve, they call us an elders, and we go and the things were put in the right place. You see, and I felt that I have done something with my life around that time. A whole lot of things I don't want to share now, but I'll be revealing them from time to time. So you are our youth, and then we want to see a brighter tomorrow. And we want to see people that we can count on, that we can turn our back and we can see that, yes, we have not, we haven't regretted, because we have people who are the realm of affairs who can deliver, who we can count on, that night or day, whatever, they will not turn their back, but they will be up and doing, like as some people have been doing. When you give them duties, they just turn it. So, Your Excellency, thank you for listening into their hearts, and you are teaching them very seriously, and then take this to another level. I'm Bishop Dr. Comfort Dosla Edu from Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Bishop Comfort. And I listened very carefully, and I hope that you do as well, because I say to my wife, I was raised by my great-grandmother. She was in her, I think Gran was in her 70s when I was a small boy, and she took me to church on her knee when I was a little boy. But I remember when she was ailing in age, she was very elderly, and I guess she might have been in her 90s. Gran might have been in her 90s, and I used to go and be one of the only persons that would go on evenings and sit with Gran. And she told me the same story. She told me the same story, must be for about 2 or 3 years straight. And I heard the same story as if I never heard it before. And we laughed about it and we joked about it. And it taught me a great lesson. I have imparted in me knowledge and techniques about herbs and medicines that most people don't even know how they work. As a matter of fact, my great-grand was the Book of Eden. I called her the Book of Eden. You know, there's a book called Back to Eden. There's a book called Back to Eden with all the herbs and medicines and everything used. And my grand, she was a Back to Eden. And I know so much. I don't even know how I know it. Maybe because of the story she's told me over and over. But why am I saying this? Why am I telling this story? I'm telling it because a lot of the youth of today have abandoned the teaching of their elders. They don't listen. They don't understand the value of stories. They don't understand the value of listening to somebody's experience and deriving value from it. And I want you in the class of Steele youth to be individuals who respect and value the elderly, because you might go and try to build something in your community and don't realize that the elders know something that you don't know about that area. Listen to them. Listen to them. Your elders have a lot to give you, but you as a young person have a lot to give to your elders. It's kind of a striking a balance. And I hope you learn the technique of being able to communicate with your elders. I'll give you that in the next class that's coming up before the year is over, how to communicate with your elders. Because a lot of you don't know how to, because your elders don't have a blueprint. So I'll give that to you with time. Elizabeth, I saw you you pop in. Elizabeth, how are you doing, Elizabeth? And what's your take this evening?
Good evening,
Good evening,
Your
Elizabeth.
Excellency. Thank you for the opportunity. Today's class, one thing to take is just that we always have to continuously know that we have an impact in our surroundings, and yes, that is what I can say. Thank you very much.
Elizabeth, I am sorry. The clock has gone forward. And is it even earlier for you guys in China?
Yes, Your Excellency, it is.
What time is it in China now?
2 a.m.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. I guess I'm gonna have to make sure that we do all the recorders. So if any of you guys miss the recorders, you guys have access to those recorders in China as well.
Thank you.
All right. Ashley, you're the youngest person in the class. Ashley, do you want to say anything based on what you have learned as the youngest person in the class coming up, Ashley?
Hi, Dr. Steele. I don't think I have anything to say.
All right, Ashley. Anybody else have any comments, or are we okay to bring this evening's class to a close? Uloma, I see you waving your hand. Go ahead, Uloma. Uloma, unmute yourself.
Thanks for, you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My question is this, in a situation whereby there is a structure or a system in place, and those at the helm of affairs are not living up to expectation, probably, I don't know, I don't want to say as a result of age.
Wait a minute. Put your either unplug your phone, unplug it and use the phone's mic, or bring the mic closer, but we're not hearing you very clearly.
Is it okay?
Yeah, okay, I can hear you. Go ahead. Let's see how it goes.
Is it better?
It's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, like I was saying, I want to know, how do you break or strike a balance whereby the system in place is not, or rather is failing, and you have something to offer, or the young people have something to offer. They lock arms and they want to make or bring this change, this positive change, but you are not given the opportunity. You are not given you are determined, you have what it takes, but you are not given the opportunity. Every corner is blocked. They make sure they intentionally block it that you don't break forth and bring that change. What do we do?
You know, I'm going to be honest and answer you. And when I answer, it is a answer for all of you in Africa and some of the regions where you are looking for change, especially those in South Africa and Nigeria and Ghana, Uganda, different regions. I want to say this to you. I'm going to answer your question, but I want to say something to you. I see your hand, Pretty. This is what I'll say, and I'm muttering because it's a really, it is actually the reality of why I did the class of Steele youth. It's actually a reason why. So let me kind of tell you these things. Everything that the youth is fighting for is because of the need for currency, money, to pay bills, to look after your family, to have a better standard of living, to every single thing that the youth is fighting for is surrounding money. Everything. Everything. And what I have discovered is this need for currency is such a driving force that it causes even those at the head who for the first time gotten into office and now they're commanding a little bit of money. They're in office and they're commanding a little bit of money. Those in the youth section that are looking for the currency, again, they're seeing them with the currency and they're fighting to get it. And it's these pockets of currency that the builders and the architects of our worlds have put in place that keeps us on edge. So this is what I really am going to say. You know, you're already a part of a process that is going to bring about change. You are already a part of an ecosystem that's going to bring about change. However, the youth don't know what they want. The youth don't really understand what they want. That's the biggest problem. When the youth are wrestling with politicians about pieces of funding, they're not really, they don't really know what they want. They just want, a lot of people just want a little bit of currency to go and buy the next fashion phone or watch, or even if we should use the term to help their children to go to school for a week or a month, or to get food and groceries for the next month for their house. Or do you see what I'm saying? But there's a bigger picture. And if that bigger picture is not focused on, then the reality is not going to be manifested. And let me kind of tell you what that bigger picture is. I'm mentoring individuals in the class of Steele because there are resources in your country that need people of integrity to manage. And when those contracts around the world and things are done with integrity, there is going to be resources. Do you agree with me? Wave at me if you agree with what I'm saying. There's going to be resources. But what do you need when resources come home? What do you need? Can I tell you what you need? People with integrity that are going to do what they say they are going to do. People that are going to look and see, we were looking at getting this major deal with the community, with outside entities or whatever, and we secured it. Now there's enough money to be divided so that we can have a school, we can have a university, we can have a food bank, we can have a water well dug. Are you seeing what I'm trying to say to you? I am not one of those persons who's gonna sit down and do what? Give somebody a grant that they're going to go and have an event, and so they could go and do what? Buy a meal, buy a suit of clothes, do what? Get groceries for the next week. That's not what I am about. That's not what the class of Steele is about. That's not what we're mentoring. Those are not the people I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on individuals who want to do something on a large scale that is going to engage the eyes of the United Nations. We want to put sustainable and renewable energy in our village or in our country. So I want a group of young people who are going to come together and look at how could we do this and how could we apply for a grant to put renewable energy in our community. How could we find a group of people that are going to say, let's choose 10 villages and get 10 boreholes? How many of you get what I'm saying? The things that I'm focusing on are those sustainable things that you will leave a legacy behind. Somebody might look and says, all we want to do is drink water. All we want to do is stop coming from the river and bring water, but clean water and drinking water and stopping the women from going down by the villages and the troubles that they go through when they go down inside of the waterways and all of those atrocities. Those are things that I care about. Those are things that make people's lives easier. Those are things that leave a legacy. Persons getting an opportunity to go to university because somebody sponsored you or somebody said, I'll help you get to university. I'll help you. I'll do the paperwork and I'll share the information with you, and I'll find somebody that would say that I could say, I vouch for this person so they can get to university. All of those are things that we're doing and looking at establishing as you build integrity and character. With regards to the youth and the battles the youth are fighting with government and government officials, Agnes, let me be very honest with you. And Uloma, sorry for your Uloma, let me be honest with you. If the leaders don't get a change of heart and a paradigm shift themselves, the youth are just going to be fighting a losing battle all the time. There's no quick fix. The problems that Africa and the nations are facing, they didn't just happen overnight. They're generations of these problems that are embedded in the thinking and the mindset and the wealth and all the things of others that people will do anything to maintain their hold on it. That's why secretly the class of Steele have to find a crop of individuals that are going to be mentored different. I can't pull persons to the class of Steele and teach them and cram down their throats principles and ethics. You can't do that. You have to find people that see the need for the change and see that the only change is going to come about is because they're the ones that are doing it. Agnes, if you don't change, the people around you that you want to see change are not going to change. Daniel, if Daniel doesn't change and if Daniel doesn't add value, and if Pretty and all of you have to be the change the world sees and embraces. When I started the class of Steele, You know how many people laugh at me? Man, what are you doing, man? You need Christians, and this is a Christian. And you know how many people mocked and how many people said this and say that? And do you know how many people started with us? I can show you over 100 and so many people that registered for the class of Steele Youth. I can show you their names, their emails, their phone numbers, some of their passports. Where are they? Life is like that. If you want to be seeing change, you have to be the change. Uloma, you could just tell people simply, if you want to see change, you have to be with somebody that sees things differently first. You're not going to see change by the people that live in the problem, smell like the problem, feed off of the problem, they benefit from the problem. You're not going to get any change. Because there are people right now that are capitalizing on the very problems the youth have. What are they doing? They're starting groups like these and charging an arm and a leg and a fortune to bring people to teach them. Why? Because of the same very thing. They're looking for money. So guess what they do? Bring people that have problems to say they're going to fix the problems, charge them, but then there's no results. Why? Because let's be honest, who's going to change a corrupt politician from being a corrupt politician when he has so many corrupt mouths to feed? Who's going to do it? It's not going to happen. Wave at me if you get what I'm saying. Please wave at me if I'm making sense. It's not going to happen. You know what's going to happen? What's going to happen is you that are in the class of Steele Youth see how to be and start your own little group, your own little movement, your own little motivational group, your own little, and just keep going and don't stop. That's it. Nothing else is going to bring about the change the world needs. Absolutely nothing else. If I come to Africa or South Africa and I speak to some of the leaders, they will kill me. They will kill me, and rightfully so. As a matter of fact, I will even put a sign and say, if they kill me, they're right. Why should I go and be malicious in people's business and culture and dynamics and try to behave as if I'm a law unto myself? They're right. I should mind my own business, correct? Correct? That's how I feel about it. But there's a difference. You cannot stop a person that wants to change from embracing change. You can't. So if I see individuals that are coming and they want to change and I impart that wisdom into them, and I have a network of individuals around the world that we could say, yeah, let's build this. Let's build this. We build it financially, we build it emotionally, we build it support structure-wise, and it's going to grow. But it takes time. There is no quick fix. Because all the quick fixes end up in riots on the streets. All the quick fixes end up in a bunch of youth that are coming together and expecting that when we finish this fight, there's going to be a lump sum of money to put on the table and feed all of our children and solve our problems. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You're just going to be mentoring violent people and mentoring individuals that are going to be chaotic and no respect for authority and make the situation worse. My recommendation, stay in the class of Steele, humble yourself, get your knowledge, grow, develop, and find a peaceful way. And by the way, I'm 50 years old and I'm nowhere where I would like to be at 50 years old. I'm not where I want to be at 50 years old. I'm not. But I'm not far from it because I recognize something. What I thought I was going to do by the time I was 25 or 30, it didn't work. So all of you in the class of Steele that are looking for a quick fix, you're not going to find it here because it doesn't exist. All of you that are looking for a quick fix in your government to change its policies, its legislations, you're not going to find it. It doesn't exist. Those that want to go to America and riot and be Malcolm X and all of these powerful people that made a great impact and a significant change, all of those that want to be those Kwames and those powerful people that think you're going to just rise up, and it's not going to happen. It's going to take time. It's going to take work. It's going to take generations. And if you're not prepared to build the next generation with integrity and character, if you're not prepared, you will not be a part of that fight. You will not. This is not a quick fix. The class of Steele is not a quick fix. A lot of individuals want certificates and a piece of paper. For what? Live the life. Be the person. Dig the well. Put the food in the village. Do it once a week and get somebody else to come and do it twice a week and 3 times a week. Feed the village, feed the community. Go to your politicians and have public debates with young people. Start a forum. Do you want me to give you some revolutionizing things to do? Start a forum with young people that sit down on Facebook and you debate your politician. Talk about him. How do you feel about Joe Blogs? Some people are not going to like me for this one. How do you feel about Joe Blogs? And get 50 young people to discuss and debate about him. Talk about him. Talk about his family, how he treats his family, how he treats the office. Talk about him. And let everybody listen to everybody talking. Do debates, public debates, not fighting, not going on the streets and no. You see, a lot of you don't recognize something important. Your elected leaders are that, elected by you. They're elected by you. I have some officials that are very close to me from around the world. And when I talk to them very openly, some of them, they don't want to talk to me again. I don't care. I don't care if you don't want to talk to me again if I tell you the truth. You are elected to make decisions that are going to cause the youth of the nations to be in a better position. You're given a budget. What are you doing with the budget? Why do you just have these events that you invite the youth to these events and you spend a whole lot of the budget inviting guest speakers from other countries, and then the youth are coming and being statistics and they don't benefit? What are you doing? Are you cuckoo? So what do I suggest? I suggest forums like these. I don't want to keep talking too much because I could get myself in trouble. But what I will tell you, all of you that are listening, you want to see change, be the change. No point harping about who's not doing it. Just be the change. I want to see change in Africa and around the world. That's why I'm doing this. Nobody's sponsoring me. Nobody's paying me. Nobody's doing this for us. Nobody's waking me up and telling me do this. I'm doing this because I believe that it needs to be done. Our young people need somebody that's going to stop them from killing each other, because that's where they're heading. They're heading at a place of, I'm tired of listening to people. I'm sick of listening to people talk. That's where our young people are. That's what's happening. And if somebody doesn't come and try to say something that makes sense and hope that they catch it, all you're going to see is a lot of rioting and a lot of unfortunate situations that you're not looking for. How many of you recognize all of a sudden the rhetoric of the church is changing? The rhetoric of the church is changing to telling people you need to start looking out for each other. You need to start being kind to each other. Did they know that from the beginning of time? How many of you are seeing a lot of pastors are running into hiding because they're recognizing that they have destroyed the opportunity that they have had? I'm ashamed to be called a bishop. I am ashamed to be called a bishop. Because when I look at the crop of bishops in Africa and what they're doing to society and to people, taking advantage of people's ignorance, taking advantage of people's frustrations, hyping up people in the church, hyping up persons to be aggressive. When persons should be the ones that are solving the problems, healing the sick, healing the nations. The church is the first place you as a young person should run into, and the pastor should be the first person to call the politician to his office and says, please, I need to speak with you, and you need to sit down and answer my youth. That's what you need to do. We put you in office. You need to come and sit down and talk to our youth. That's what leaders should do in Africa. Tell your bishop, the politician that is putting a fat lump sum of change in his pocket, tell your bishop, bring him to the church and let him answer the youth some questions. Why are they going to do it? They will not. Because when they get their lump sum of money that they buy their new pastoral cars and their new bishopric vehicles, and they can drive about with as if they're gods on the earth, they don't need you. So what am I saying? If you want to see a change in your country, in your politics, in your government, you have to be the change. You have to be the person that shows the love, the respect. You have to be the person that brings up the initiatives. That's why you are here. You're not here to look pretty. You're not here to have somebody tell you, oh, you're amazing and you're super fantastic. You're here for somebody to tell you the world needs you. And if you don't be the fix and the change that your community needs, then you're wasting your time here. And it's not going to get any better. If you sit on a church board, talk to your pastor. Tell him, bring the politician to the church, but not bring him to the church and have another big offering day that you suck out people to suck the little change they have. Tell him come to the church and answer the youth some questions. Let him explain to the youth why it is difficult in his political office to help the youth the way the youth want to be helped. And then let him tell the youth what they can do together. A lot of you have too many unrealistic expectations of politicians. Politicians can't do what you think they can do. They cannot. And that's why the youth are beating down the walls of the communities, because the youth are ignorant to the understanding of what can these elected officials really do. What can they really do? What can they really do? You need to get them tell you. Forgive me for ranting, and if I'm talking like this, please forgive me. And for going over time, I do apologize. But I hope I'm making sense and I hope I'm helping you. I'm not here to destroy you. I'm here to help you. I want you to see Africa is so beautiful. To see the world is a beautiful place. Your community is fantastic. Your politicians are amazing people. They really are. But you guys just need to learn and understand, how can we sit down and talk together? Not fight. Fighting isn't going to help. How can we work together? Daniel, I'm intrigued by your interest. Daniel, please share your thoughts with me, please. Just tell us what country you're in, Daniel, and share your thought.
Okay, thank you, Bishop. I'm very much grateful. I'm in Ghana, and today's lesson has taught me a lot. And I'm very much pleased with the way the teachings are going. I'm in a country where whatever you do, the elders will they won't even consider your your contributions or whatever. All what they know is that when were you born? Where are you coming from? What do you have even what have you achieved? They won't consider anything from the youth. They don't expect much from the youth. What they use the youth for is when they want to come into power, they will just give the youth some money and then use them for campaigns and other things. But the youth, you are teaching us a lot today that we have to realize what God has made us, that we are the future and that we have to change. And I'm very much pleased. I'm a youth leader in my church, and whenever I meet them, I try to let them know some of these things. But the change is not still coming. But indeed, you have taught me a lot today, and I'm very much grateful.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Daniel. I'm going to tell you all something. I have a dream. I have a dream that the class of Steele is going to set up so many things to financially help the youth of the world. I have a dream. And I hope that this journey and these videos and what I'm doing, somebody will see and somebody will say, let's help the class of Steele. I have a dream. But let me be kind of transparent with all of you in the class of Steele. If nobody helps me, I am going to help me. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And one by one, we're going to bring about the change the world needs. I love Ashley. Let me tell you all a secret about Ashley to me. Let me tell you a secret about Ashley. This little girl that's in the class of Steele, the youngest youth in the class of Steele. Let me tell you the secret for me. And my son, Joshua. Let me tell you the secret. The secret is with tears in my heart because I know the journey that Ashley is going to have to go through is a long journey. The journey of family, the journey of religion, the journey of country of birth, the journey of who you are. It's a long journey. But can I tell you something? I am so grateful for the journey that I have come and the exposure that I have received that has caused me to be a global-minded person. Because I have friends in every part of the world. I have friends. I have friends in some of the most powerful circles and governments around the world. Friends, I'm saying friends, because of my travels and my relationships. Friends that will never show up on these platforms because they walked behind the scenes and who they are, that are just waiting for the class of Steele youth and people to be ready. And all of you, I want you to build the same thing that I have built. The world isn't going to change in your lifetime or my lifetime. It will not change just like that. You're going to hear wars and rumors of wars and battles and fights and agreements and contracts. Your country in Africa have just signed 100-year agreements with other countries that you don't even know they've signed those agreements with. Your country is a corporation, and a corporation is run by CEOs and head of states and government leaders. They're just hired staff. If you don't see all of these things and recognize that you can just be the best you that you could be as a human being. Turn your eyes from some things and turn your eyes to some things. You can't fight every battle. You can't get on every bandwagon. You have to find your fights, choose them, and be in it for the long haul. What is my fight? Say that the youth of Africa recognize they have a fair level fighting ground like anybody else on the earth. You're not ostracized. You're not marginalized. You're not separated from any greater opportunity than anybody else. The only difference is your attitude towards your opportunity. And what is your opportunity? The fact that you are here. That's your opportunity. The fact that you are here is your opportunity. Yuloma, you're talking to me about the youth. Pretty and Agnes, you're talking to me about the youth. The fact that you are here tells me something is happening. But you have to find your place in that something that is happening. You have to look deep and see what is happening that I am aware of, and what can I do to help the situation. You have to do that. Nobody can do that for you. Daniel, you have to look and see, what part can I play? I used to have a secret when I was a junior church leader. Every person I lay hands on, I used to bless them. Every person, I used to bless them, just bless them secretly. And when I go home and in my closet, even now, I still do it. There's so many persons that I continue to bless in the spirit realm. How many youth did you argue and fight with that you realize this person could do really good with some support from on high? Listen to me. I wish I could talk for the rest of my life. You know, when I was sick, my wife said to me, darling, there's one single thing that don't get sick on you, and that's your mouth. I laughed. You know why my mouth doesn't get sick? Because I'm tired of being silent and everybody's dying and everybody's losing and everybody's failing and everybody has excuses why they can't do better and nobody's helping. That's why my mouth wouldn't stand silent. What's keeping you up all day? What are you coming in front of me as your mentor and saying to me, you know, I'm so glad that I'm in the class of Steele and I'm hearing this, but you want the truth? What about the others? Are you making a way for them to hear it? Are you explaining it to them? You know why sometimes in some countries and some parts of the world, only 1 and 2 people make it and escape from the harshness or the horrible situation? Do you know why sometimes only 1 or 2 people escape? Because everybody gets the knowledge. Everybody gets the wisdom. And then they run and hide themselves, fix themselves. They don't care about anybody else. It's our nature. It's our nature. I look at my wife and I absolutely love who she is, and I love His Excellency Architect Olukoya and Bishop Comfort and the team in the class of, I love the class of Steele team so much. Y'all don't know the amazing management team that we have and partners and friends. Y'all don't have a clue. We don't care about what we get out of it only. It's not about what we get out of it only. It's about we were able to help somebody. I want to go to South Africa, not to join the riots. I want to come to South Africa and find some of the men and women that are hurting so darn badly, and see if by the grace of God I could show them it's going to be okay. It's going to be a long journey, but it's going to be okay. You just have to find a team that wants it to be okay for everybody, not just a few. Because everybody is wrestling with a small box. Just 10 of us fit into this box. It's us Black people from this area that want to fight these whites or these Blacks or whatever. That's not what you need. You need somebody that's going to say, let's all of us do it together. Let all of us do it together. I don't care if you Black or if you white or if you green or if you pink. I don't care if your ancestors are the ones that were here first or last. Somebody's going to look at me and says, come on, you could say that because you don't know what it's like. I know what a lot of things are like that I don't say. But am I supposed to be like everybody else? Are you supposed to be like everybody else? No, you're not. You're unique. But can I give you a global collective uniqueness that is so acceptable and embracive? When you see everybody else is unique as well. And when you value everybody the same way you want to be valued. And when you respect everybody the same way you want to be respected. And when you honor the same way you want to be honored. Of course it's hard. Do you think the church is proud of me? I have ministers that they're not proud of me. But I also have people that are proud of me. And you will do the same. Class of Steele Youth, you are the change the world needs. You're the change that Africa needs. You're the only person that might get a chance to speak to that king or that traditional ruler. You. What are you going to say? How are you going to say it? It's going to determine how he responds to the others that come after him. You're the only person that's going to speak to that youth leader that wants to start a riot. What are you going to say? Are you going to say something that is going to cause him or her to think and make a positive decision? Or are you going to say something to him that's going to stimulate him or her to causing a whole lot of young people to get dragged into a chaotic situation that could cause a lot of lives and a lot of damage? What are you going to do? What are you going to say? I want to challenge you to think. Think. You are the change that Africa needs. Say it. I am the change that Africa needs. That's why I was born in this period. Because I am the change. Looking at problems don't solve them. Looking at solutionists and talking with solutionists and debating and discussion and embracing solutionists solve problems. Seeing the youth wanting to kill each other doesn't solve the problem. Finding the youth that everybody is following and everybody is listening to and saying, I want to talk to you. And loving him and giving him an opportunity and opening a door for him that might not have been opened before, for him to speak to somebody might cause him to be a little bit more rational than he was prior to having somebody open that door for him. Am I making sense what I'm saying? There is always something you can do. You just need the right mentor. And you just need to keep knocking. I want to appreciate Zoom for allowing me the privilege of all of these broadcasts, and YouTube and those who listen to us. And I'm going to challenge all of you this evening now. All of you, I'm going to give you a voice for Africa. I'm going to ask you one question, and I want you to tell Africa and the world your answer. I'm going to give each of you 60 seconds. Now you're going to see how long 60 seconds is when I give it to you. You will really see how long 60 seconds is. But this is what I want you to do. I want you to tell the president of your country in 60 seconds what you would say to him. And I'm going to start with you, Yuloma. 60 seconds, Yuloma. Tell the president of your country what you want to say to him and to those in Africa leadership. 60 seconds. Go ahead. If you go over 60 seconds, it's fine. But I just want you to tell the leader of your country what you really want to say from your heart.
My name is Panebi Oloma from southeast part of Nigeria. What I would like to say to Mr. President.
All right. So she has been muted for Nigeria. Nigeria got censored. Let's try Daniel. Daniel, which country are you in, please? Daniel, could you unmute yourself?
Ghana.
Daniel, let's see if they're going to also muzzle Ghana. Could you tell the world and the president of Ghana and the people of your country, the leaders, simply and humbly, what you would like to share as a young man? First, say your name and who you are and what you want to say.
My name is Daniel Ofosu.
Turn on your camera, Daniel. Let people see it's you.
Okay. I am Daniel Ofosu. I'm out of Friday like this. And I'm speaking from Ghana. I want to tell my president. The president is Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I want him to know that the country was there and he fought to be our leader. He should just lead us for better, not for his selfish interest. He should consider the interest of the nation, the country, and he should use our resources to help us. He shouldn't take the little money that we have from us as he use. He shouldn't use anything that he's doing.
Let me stop you, Daniel. Let me stop you and help you. Let me stop you and help you.
Okay.
You see, that's the reason why the youth of Africa don't have a voice. Let me stop you and answer. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's fine. I'm going to keep you alive. It's fine. And I want you to get, and I want all of you that are listening to understand what I'm trying to teach you in this session. Daniel, the way you go about it is the first thing. You have to share what you appreciate in our leaders. You have to. You see, let me do it for you, okay? It might not be the way you want it to be done, but let me do it for you and show you why a lot of youth are not getting any support or help. Let me do it for you for the youth of Ghana. I'll do it for you. My name is Ambassador Dr. Michael Steele, and I'm speaking on the behalf of Daniel Ofosu. And Mr. President, first I want to appreciate the burden of responsibility that is placed on you to manage our nation. It's an overwhelming burden. Your Excellency, I sit with the youth and I see the atrocities. I see the media and I hear the horrible things that are being said, some conclusive and some inconclusive. But sir, I would be so grateful if you would consider revisiting the allocation of resources to our youth to better themselves. As a matter of fact, I'm not just going to say releasing resources, but I have a number of projects that I believe would be an advantage to our youth that I would be grateful, Mr. President, if you would consider. And Mr. President, I would equally be grateful if you would consider allowing me and some youth that we have brought together to put a project in place that can be implemented not just in my local region, but throughout Ghana, that I believe would add value to your portfolio as our president managing the affairs of our nation. Mr. President, I would like to appeal for an opportunity for the Minister of Youth and Sports and Culture and Energy to set some forum in place to dialogue with our youth and just give our youth an opportunity. You could visit this particular university and we can have debate and discussions from the youth that can feed back to your cabinet, Mr. President, and let you hear some ideas that I believe would be helpful to our country. Mr. President, I am angered and I'm frustrated. But Mr. President, I have observed over the years that anger, vexation, rioting does not solve problems. And I would love to have the opportunity to be a young man in my country, Mr. President, who would be given an opportunity to help our country's youth recognize that even if, Mr. President, secretly, you give me an ear to show the youth that you are listening to the youth hear that they are not ignored and forsaken. Mr. President, you don't have to show up with tanks and guns and artillery and protection to stand before our youth. You just have to show up and let us know that you feel our pain too, and you are interested sincerely to do something about it. Before I close my discussion, Mr. President, please allow me to say this honestly. Appreciate the ignorance of our youth who do not understand politics. Appreciate it. And please, Mr. President, deal with us kindly. Don't allow us to go into the next generation and be lost and hopeless, and allow those from other countries of the world to come and take advantage of us and our resources that our forefathers have labored so hard to secure. Mr. President, if I could be of any further value to you, I would be grateful for an audience with you, Mr. President. so that we can take this to a next level. And Mr. President, please don't just see me. Don't single me out. But do it as an initiative for all of our youth, so that our youth do not feel left out. Thank you so very much for the opportunity to speak with you, Mr. President. I remain your servant, Daniel Ofosu. Listen to me. Young people of Africa and the nations, listen to me. Nobody wants to talk nicely to somebody they want to chop off their heads. Nobody wants to talk nicely to people who have taken advantage of them and abused them. Can I tell you what I've learned? That verse of scripture, a soft answer turns a real wrath. Diplomacy is a very hard pill to swallow. I love watching NATO and those very powerful people in the world speaking diplomatically to each other. If you're in the class of Steele and you don't learn diplomacy, you're no better than the others out there on the streets who are battling and fighting. Daniel, have I made sense what I just shared with you, my friend? And by the way, Daniel, I'll tell you a little secret. Daniel, the reason why I stopped you is because I could assure you of something. If you're in a country and there are leaders that are listening to you, Daniel, I could assure you, if you had continued on that rhetoric, there are leaders that would have no problem taking you out. Don't take lightly what I just said. I'm a real person. And if I'm going to protect you as leaders, you have to learn to be respectful. You have to learn to be professional, diplomatic, and you have to learn to give honor to those who are in authority over you, if you like them or not.
Okay.
Do you know why Joe Biden would not rush in and say horrible things about Putin? Because he has a button. And all of you as young people need to learn respect and honor in the midst of adversity, the midst of difficulties, humility. Even if tears come out of your eyes after, and somebody, you talk to he like that, you talk to he like that, I would. It's okay. The reason why I'm alive at 50 years old, after all the things I've been through and the things that I do and the people that I work with, is because I have learned respect. Daniel, have I made sense what I shared with you, sir?
Yes, please.
Never ever speak about your leaders, and never ever charge your leaders foolishly. Okay. Because you were not there when they signed the checks, or they never ever allow any person to pull you into any rhetoric about your leaders. Never. It really doesn't matter what they think. Let them keep their thoughts to themselves. If you have an opportunity to speak to any leader, show up at that table respectfully. Show up at that table and be the one person, if it is only one person, that says, sir, I would be grateful if. And if that only person is you, sir, let it be you. That would cause that person, that as barbaric as they might have been to the rest of the world, they might just choose to be kind just because of you. Have I made sense?
Yes, please. Thank you.
I think I'm going to close here, and I'm going to allow you guys to do that next week. Prepare yourself to talk to your leaders. What do you want to tell them? Come with your camera and be honest. What do you want to tell your youth? Be honest. You are the voice of reason for them. You're the voice of hope for Africa. Africa cannot tolerate barbaric leaders anymore. It's not working. One person has the sugar, the next person has the rice, the next person has the metal that makes the saucepan, and one person knows how to cook. Why are you going to be arrogant and cussing and fussing and cutting down each other? Africa is the food basket of the world, the tool shed of the world, the resource center of the world. Why are you walking around arrogant and trying to cut down and kill and destroy? You need leaders that know how to respect, reverence, and honor, communicate, and build relationships. Politics is not about talking about, oh, you need to start spending the people's money. It's not a, come on, come on, come on. It's about learning how to communicate effectively. Everybody has an opportunity with a little bit of money, do crazy stuff. Everybody, all of us. If I give a number of you $10,000 and tell you I want you to use $9,000 and spend it on the village, I guarantee you, the majority of you will not spend the $9,000 on your village and keep $1,000. I guarantee you. Why? Because you will always think you need at least 2,000 or 3,000 for yourself. It's normal. Is it ethical? No, but it's normal. Don't judge people because you're not in the position to be the one making the decisions. Because if you get in the place to make the decisions, you might find yourself wanting. So be kind, be respectful. As horrible as the heads of your corporations be, the head of your corporation, meaning your country, as horrible as they might be, they're just doing a job and they're just getting a salary. And when their 4-year time is up, tag, you're it. What are you going to do? I've talked enough and I don't want to weary you anymore. Your Excellency, Bishop Comfort, and everyone that have stood on, thank you for staying on. And I wish you guys a fantastic evening. And I hope that I've challenged your thoughts, and I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. And I think it was Uloma that got cut off. I don't think they want Nigeria to talk to their leaders, because they think that when you talk to your leaders, you're going to say the wrong things. So I hope that next Saturday you come prepared. Bishop Comfort, Your Excellency, I'll let you close the final word. Bishop Comfort, please.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Bishop Dr. Michael Steele. I think you rightly said it, that when we are talking to our leaders, we must be circumspect. We must also match or mark our words. And then we also have to be, we are not politicians, but we are just, let me put it this way, we are just citizens of a nation. And we are talking to our leaders. We must be polite. We must know where we are coming from. And we must know what it is upon them as leaders. So even if in a certain country, some heads of states or ministers mismanaging or that sort of thing, you don't have to think that way when you are talking to a leader. You just go straight to the point, acknowledging what you have seen him do. In matter of fact, speaking to anybody, just start from the point of the good things you see in the person, and then you acknowledge that person for it. And then you continue to say that because he has done this and that, you know that what is left to be done will surely be done. It is due time. But yet you also suggest that sometimes you have some ideas or projects that you think could help the person in discharging his duties, that sort of thing. When you come out with such a position, it will go well. I remember when I was in the union front, I know how to talk to the people. I will tell you the truth, but then I'll be very diplomatic, as His Excellency will say, because to err is human, and we are all human. And for one person to fight for a nation or to be at a focal point is not easy. There are a whole lot of things on the person's hand. But your comments, positive ones, can help the person move forward. Thank you, Your Excellency. When you took the matter up, I knew what is in you, and so I wasn't shaken. I know you put the things right. Thank you for saving Daniel and the whole youth. Thank you so much. On this note, I'll say good night. And this is Bishop Dr. Comfort from Ghana. It is well.
It is well, youth. It is okay. The world is changing. The world is becoming a better place, and you're a part of it. Go out there and be the best you that you can be. Don't follow unhealthy trends. Respect and honor. I'm 50 years old and it has served me well. Respect and honor have served me well. Might not be as wealthy as I want to be as yet, but I'll get there. But respect and honor has served me well. And if you're going to be wearing that tag at the ending of this year, I came through the class of Steele. Because I am gonna tag you. And by the way, October, those of you who are coming to travel with us in October, I hope it's on your radar seriously. But you are going to be tagged in the ending of this year that you came through the class of Steele. But to wear that tag, it's not going to be an easy one. It's not an easy one. But you will have that tag. And some of you will see others that come late and get the tag, and they were there long and get the tag, and that they were there from the beginning and then didn't get the tag, and you might want to know why. But the tag is not about a college degree or college approval. It is about my approval. It's about the class of Steele approval. And it's about what I would say is the world's approval of acceptable. I'm His Excellency Dr. Michael Steele on the behalf of my beautiful wife, First Lady Jeannie. Uloma, welcome back, but Nigeria, they don't want to hear what you're going to tell the president of Nigeria yet. So on Sunday, next week, you will tell him next week. So I hope you choose your words wisely next week to tell him. On the behalf of our partners, our associates, I want to appreciate all of you. And I want to also say again, thanks to Zoom and Zoom technology for giving the class of Steele a voice to the nations. I appreciate working with Zoom and the Zoom team. They have served us proudly and well this year, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so very much, Zoom, and what you've done for us in giving us this platform and this opportunity to at least be a voice to the nations. God bless you and have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Bye-bye for now. I'm His Excellency Dr. Michael Steele. Bye for now, guys. I love you all. And remember, as soon as they hear of me, they shall obey me. The strangers shall submit themselves unto me. Why? Because I have the answer. I have the solution. And I have, beyond anything else, the right attitude. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye for now, guys.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Good night,
Good
Your
night.
Excellencies. Good night. We are most grateful.
Love you all.
Love you
Love
too.
you too.
Today's lesson have been a bit different. You must
Yeah.
learn how we talk to our elders.
Yeah.
That is a good one. Daniel, call me later on, right? From Monday going.
Okay. Thank you.
And Daniel, lose some of that venom, Daniel. Lose the venom.
We thank you, Excellency. You were a good one. I'm very proud of you. You saved the youth of the nation.
You really saved me today, pa.
No, Daniel,
the point where he took the city off was not easy at all. Anyway, it's a lesson. We've learned a very good lesson. Let's learn how to talk to our elders. It's not easy being a president, I tell you. Not easy.
Daniel,
if somebody gets there.
Daniel, you need to send him a letter of love and appreciation. And when you come next Saturday, you need to redeem yourself because I can't delete and edit the video.
Because we must support him. We must support him. This is not the politics. We must support him. Whoever is the president, support him. See the good things he's doing and emulate it. And also encourage him. Then he will do more.
I will come
That's how we
visit,
go about it.
I will come and visit your president, Daniel, and I'll take you with me when I'm visiting him.
I'll be very much grateful, pa.
This is the first experience he had. He wasn't prepared. You took him off guard.
I had to say, whoa, pull this back. Don't let this go, please. Hold.
I saw his face. He was very stressful.
But you know what? I'm thankful they muzzled Uloma because I can assure you Buhari would have been in serious troubles.
What are you teaching these people? You are too much. You are too much. You did well.
Uloma, I thank God that Zoom might have heard you, and Zoom might say, you can't have no word to say this. Oh,
you're a good mentor. You came in at the right time.
Oh my gosh. And by the way, guys, I just want you to know that I just recorded that last bit of comedy because I wanted to laugh today. And if ever I got a good laugh, it was that one, honestly. Because we're going to have these debates where you will speak to your leaders, but I promise you I have to teach you how to speak to them first.
Look, Anguish is gonna take over. Bitterness.
Elizabeth and Ruth, I'm glad you guys are in China far from them because I am telling you, if you say it to them, they will want to cry.
Oh God.
Listen, you guys are. Listen, I have a question to ask. On a Friday night, we have the class of Steele on Friday nights, and I want to do a fun night. I really want us to have a fun night, a night of laughter and chilling, cultural fun. And I want you guys to be a part of a team to make that happen. How many of you would think we should do it either a Saturday night or a Friday night? Which one night would you think is better? Saturday night or Friday night?
Friday night will be
Friday night.
Friday night?
What about those in China? China people, are you listening?
Of course, it's China that say Friday night. I hear Elizabeth now.
Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday night.
Pretty. You know that in life it's a democracy with the majority. So we're gonna see how many for Friday nights. Yeah, I'm for Friday night. By the way, I'm for Friday night. Who else?
I'm also for Friday night.
I'm also for Friday night.
You guys are for Friday night?
I'm also for Friday night.
Yes.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is this Friday night is gonna be fun night. For the class of Steele youth and the class of Steele adults. I'll let everybody be aware, and I'm gonna promote it. Okay. So Friday night is fun. Next Friday night coming is fun night. I'll tell the first lady, and we will put it together. So this Friday night coming is the class of Steele fun night. It's gonna be for a couple of hours. It's gonna start at I think we will do the same 7. Oh my goodness. We have to do our Friday night start actually at 7 p.m. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do it. Are you guys able to do? Yeah. What time? Give me a time. You have between 6 and 7 to start. Between 6 and 7. Which one is better for you guys?
In Ghana, 6 in the UK is 5.
So
so it should be 7 in UK, so that it should be 6 in Ghana. That is what I'm looking at, because by that time everybody has closed from school and has reached
okay.
home.
So 7 is okay Friday night.
Yes,
Is 7 okay Friday night? Late
London
night Friday
time.
night. 7 London time, by the way. It's 7 London time.
I'm okay.
Ruth and Elizabeth, you guys are gonna have a late night. You guys can invite some of your Chinese friends. As a matter of fact, I hope we get some Chinese guys to come in and to add some fun to it, because I'm gonna video it on Facebook and on YouTube as well.
I'm not sure we will get them because of the time. It
Oh,
will be
the time.
3 p.m. Yes.
Okay.
And it's impossible for us to get them.
You
And
can
how
call
many
it.
hours between?
It will be 3 a.m. here.
Oh, 7 will be 3 a.m. Oh,
Yes.
that's okay. And it's Saturday. Your Saturdays are normally busy as well.
Yes, it will be 3. Let me check the time. Yeah, 3 a.m.
Okay,
Saturday.
Okay, so 7 a.m. we will do it, and we will poke fun on Chinese that are at bed at 3 a.m. So you will have to tell the first set of jokes. Okay, so then we will. Okay, Ruth, I'm not gonna let you guys make me feel guilty, man. Come on, don't make my conscience hurt me. Ruth and Elizabeth say it's okay for 7 o'clock.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's okay. We will,
Once a while, so
just as we always join at dawn for the regular meetings, we can still make it for the fun time as well.
All right. So on Friday at 7 a.m. London time, we're gonna have family fun evening in the class of Steele. All relax and chilled out. Don't get dressed up, because I am not getting dressed up. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna surprise you how I'm gonna dress for the fun evening. I'll surprise you.
Your Excellency, please let me get a time again. Has it changed?
7 a.m. or 7 p.m.
7 p.m. London time. 7 p.m. British Standard Time.
Okay, then it's still 3 a.m. I was thinking that you've changed it to 7 a.m.
Oh,
okay.
no, 7 a.m. As a matter of fact, I'm actually, Loma, Ruth and Elizabeth, you guys still need to talk to me about the Chinese team, because we are going to start something for you guys. And you guys just need to tell me the time, and I'll do it on a Saturday as well. But I'll just be doing it at a convenient time for you guys.
All right. That would be great.
Yeah, so you guys just need to tell me when we will do that. All right. But anyway, I think I can stop this recording. This is one of those recordings that will go down long. It's already on YouTube, and the link is there. So you could share that link if you want to. But you guys have a fantastic night, and I'll see you guys then on those of you from the class of Steele Youth. I'll be seeing you then on Friday. Saturday, we will have the normal class of Steele Youth on Saturday, but Friday is going to be fun time.
Thank you.
All right. And I'll share the link with you, and please share the link with every single person everywhere. Just share the link. Let everybody come and have some fun on YouTube, Facebook. Just share the link.
you so much.
All right. Bye-bye, guys. Good night, everybody.
Bye. Good night.